In this tutorial, we will learn about how to calculate the size of any structure. So, size of any structure tells us how many bytes of memory is occupied by the members of that structure when a variable is created for it. So, before we understand that, we need to learn few basic facts. So, always remember that for storing an integer variable, it consumes 4 bytes of memory. For storing a float variable also, it consumes 4 bytes of memory. For storing a character data type, it consumes 1 byte of memory. And for storing string, that will depend upon the length of the string and those many bytes it will take. For example, if you declare the length of the string as 10, then it will consume 10 bytes. Or if you declare length of string as some 15, then it will consume 15 bytes. So these facts you need to remember, that integer 4 bytes, float also 4 bytes, character 1 byte and string 1 byte. So let us come back to our problem statement where we need to calculate how many bytes of memory will be consumed by this structure. So if we observe here, we have declared one structure with the name as student, and it is having these 5 members. So int roll number, int is one class, then character section, then string name and marks. So if you want to calculate the size of any structure, C has given us a predefined function known as size of. So you can use that function to calculate the size. So I'll show you how to do that. You open your main function and then create any structure variable. So you can write struct, then the name of the structure, and then you create any variable. I am giving the name as S here. And after that you declare one integer type variable to store the size. So I can write int as total underscore size. So this value now I need to calculate that what is the total size of this structure. If you want to calculate it, you can use size of function which is given in C programming. So how to use it is you write size of and then you write the name of the variable. So s dot roll number. Okay, every variable you need to write whichever member are there inside. For each of them you need to calculate individually. The next one is size of s dot class, and next is size of s dot sec, then plus size of s dot name, and finally we have one more last one which is size of s dot marks. And then you can, after you have written all this statement, you can then print. So I'll write one printf saying total size of structure is equal to percentage d, and replace that percentage d with total size, because total size is having that value of complete size. But if you want to calculate manually also, you can calculate just now based on the facts I told you. So if you observe here, first thing is integer. So how many bytes it will consume? It will consume 4 bytes. And next one is also integer. So integer class. So it will also consume 4 bytes. And next one, if you observe, it is a character. So character always consume 1 byte. And then we have a string. So string size depends upon length of the string. So here the length of the string is 30. So it will consume 30 bytes. And last one we have float. So float also consumes 4 bytes in the memory to be stored. So 4 bytes. So if you add all of them, that same size is going to be reflected in this total size. So if you observe here, 4 plus 4 8, plus 1 9, plus 30 will be 39, and 39 plus 4 will be 43. So total 43 bytes of memory are required to store this structure. So let us run the program once and confirm whether we have calculated the correct answer or not. So if you observe here, it printed 43 as we calculated. The total size of the structure is 43. So you can use always this size of function. So it's a predefined function given by C language only, which we can use to calculate length of any variable. Let us take few more examples. For example, try to calculate length of this structure. So I have declared one structure called book, and in that I am taking one variable as book name, author name, number of pages it has, and price. So if we try to calculate the length of this string, because first one is string data type and it will take then 15 bytes of memory, and second one is also 15 bytes of memory. I am trying to store the author name, so it also 15 bytes of memory. And next one is what? An integer. So as we know, integer consumes 4 bytes of memory. And last one is float. So float also consumes 4 bytes of memory. So what will be the total size? 15 plus 15, 30, and 30 plus this 8, 38. So total size of this structure to store it in memory will be total 38 bytes of memory. So in examination, they can ask you to calculate the size of the structure. So you just need to remember these main 4 types. So integer 4 bytes, float 4 bytes, character 1 byte, and string will depend upon the length of the string. Let us do one more example. For example, struct student is there and it has this 3 members: name, class, and marks. So how can you calculate the size of this structure? Again, you can manually also do it, like 20. So here 20 bytes, int will be 4 bytes, and again float will be 4 bytes. So total 28, you should get the answer. But let us just try it using size of function. So declare int main and declare a structure variable. So you write struct and student and write some s as the variable name. You declare one more variable to store the size, so total size, and then you can calculate the value of this total size by using size of function. Size of, so first one is s dot name, then second one is s dot class, and final one is s dot marks. So what will be the length? So 20 plus int 4 and here also 4. So 28 we should get the answer. So we'll just print the total size. Printf total size of structure is equal to percentage %d. Replace that percentage %d with total size. So let us run this program once. So if you observe, we got 28 as the answer because 20 and int 4 and float 4, so total 28. So hopefully you understood now how to calculate the length of any structure. Thank you.